Alright, here we are back again at Home Depot. So I'm getting some of these boards here and just going through the process of finding ones that are in decent shape and look down the side and make sure they're not warped and nasty. These are the tongue and groove with the double look on each board. And there's a whole bunch of crappy ones, so I need a whole lot of these to do the ceiling. There's lots of different choices and styles, but this is the one I'm going with. And picked up some stain while I'm here as well. So this stuff was on clearance. Looks like a decent color, so we're gonna go with a little Atlas cedar. All right, back home now. I got the sawhorses set up so I can lay the boards on them and stain them. So this is what board number 1 looks like. I'm just gonna stain the top side. No reason to stain the back that I can see. And oh, there's my makeshift paint stirrer since they didn't give me one. To stain the boards, I just lay them across 2 sawhorses, and it's pretty easy. Just slop it on. I just want to make sure that I get the top slot where they go into the groove of the other one, just so if there's a little gap you don't see through to the white wood. And do the same on this edge. Make sure I don't miss that edge there, so that when they're together it looks good, and it's that easy to stain. Alright, I'm just going to start in the bottom corner here and just put a full board up here and use my nail gun down here with some 16 gauge finish nails, and just pop a couple on each of the rafters and continue down until I get to that other beam down there. Then I'll have to measure and cut the board, and then I'll just stagger them and keep building up and cutting around obstacles like this beam as I get to them. So now when I get to the outside, I'm going to bring the board almost flush to the to this board right here. I'm going to bring the board almost all the way to the bottom outside edge of that, because we're going to eventually have another board that gets nailed onto this side rafter that will come down just the thickness of these the ceiling boards to cover them up flush and provide some more weatherproofing for that, so nothing can get underneath the ceiling there. Okay, so I got the first row in, cut it where it was hitting the post up there, and then for the second row, piece that I cut off here, I just slid into the groove, pushed it up against the board here, and it looks like I got really lucky because it looks like the next one will fit perfectly on top of it, so I don't have to cut around this post. So I'll just run my next row all the way down. Okay, 2 rows up here. So then I started working on the outside. After I got the first 2 rows, I put this the third row up and just had it come over the top so it would go flush with it, so I could work my way back down. On these 2 pieces, it's kind of a crappy jigsaw job, but I cut a hole out for our conduit that takes our electrical up there. And now we just continue and keep going until we'll do the other side like we did this side, and then once we get to our lights, we will cut around our cutouts for those. Oh, but I wanted to point out over here how far we took these. I took them just inside the edge, like I said, of this outside rafter, because we're gonna put some more trim around these. Okay, when we get to the light fixture, we're gonna pull this back out, so we just have the can light that we can get to. Line your board up where it's gonna be going in here, and then you can just trace with a pencil what you need to cut out. Now we're gonna take this and cut that out with the jigsaw. Okay, so here's our mark. It doesn't have to be perfect because the edge of the light is gonna go further than this to cover it. All right, just a progress update. I'm probably 3 hours in now, and we are a quarter of the way done. Okay, now what I should have done and what you should do before even starting these is go ahead and paint or stain the trim around where you're going to be doing this. So I'm painting mine with an exterior paint that's really dark gray, almost black color. So where these boards are going to be, where I'm going to have to cut around these posts, I went ahead and painted them so I won't have to paint and possibly get it on my wood. But what I should have done is paint it around here first before doing that to make it easy on myself, but that's all right. I'll just go back in and paint it in, cut it in. So what I'm going to do tomorrow morning probably, or what I'll get my wife to do, is paint these at least towards the bottom and the corners where that wood is going to be. So do that first. We're halfway done now. I went all the way up and just ended on an even board up there. There's a little bit of gap, which is fine because we're going to put a fake beam over the middle where our fan is going to hang from. So that's my plan. So halfway done, and it's looking really good. All right, I'm starting side number 2 with one full piece on the bottom, and you can see it's just resting on the heads of these bolts in a few places, but that helps make it nice and even down there. And I just wanted to share a few tips with you guys that I've discovered along the way. So what I've started doing is nailing one in the top piece, and the next rafter on the bottom piece, and then the top piece, just one per rafter, and that way it just has less nail heads that will show in the finished product. And the other thing you need to be aware of is when you're doing the nail heads on the top piece, to make sure you don't go too high, or else you will go into the groove and then the next board won't fit in there. So make sure it's far enough down. And the only other tip is, okay, so the other tip is when you are sawing these in the groove, you will get sawdust in there a lot. So I'll show you an example on this piece of scrap here that I'm not going to use. You take a little shaving of one of the boards, you can just run it down the grooves and cleans them out really well and easily. All right, so in this corner with the electrical outlet that I added, I got pretty lucky, or planned well, depending on how you look at it, by running this wire down as far back as it would go and snaking it around so the board actually fits perfectly right over it, with that gap from the bolt heads that has to be there. So it actually, I guess I should have started on this side of it just to make sure, in case it had to be raised any for the electrical outlet, so that the other board going down there would line up evenly with it. But as you can see, that's going to be a good fit right there. Okay, for the inside edge here, just do the same thing. It's taken me 2.5 rows though, so for the very furthest row out, I just used my table saw and cut these to, mine happened to be 4 inches is what I needed, so just gonna continue this all the way across to the end. The only things I really had to cut around were the beam up here and the bolt coming out. Alright guys, I really hope these videos are helping. Please continue to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will keep them coming. Thanks.